out towards for you. It's yeah. Go ahead. For you. Nice. I'll see if I can
go ahead.
ready you. Nate underscore codes, right? Nice. I'll see if I can
go ahead.
ready you. Nate underscore
Wait.
codes, right? Nice. I'll see if I can
go ahead.
ready you. Nate. Yeah. Yeah, you too.
Test, test. Can you hear me now? Test, test. 1, 2. Test, test. 1, 2. All right, I definitely did screw up my audio configuration. Thank you very much, GearShift, for calling that out. So I've been muted this whole time. I thought I was talking for like 10, 20 minutes there, and no, I wasn't. All right, so let's cut over to our code. So to give some context, I am working on Neovim today. So this is an in-terminal text editor. So I have WesTerm here that I'm using on Windows with WSL. So you can see I've got Alacrity and WesTerm that I've installed. My stream machine is a, oh, my camera's not on this scene. I stream from a PC. I normally develop from Linux or Mac, and this is, you know, I've been working on my Windows setup so that I can do coding and stuff from my streaming PC, and that involves installing WSL, so I can have a Linux or Unix-based system. So this is, I don't know where to show it exactly, but yeah. So if I print my working directory, this is inside of a Ubuntu VM, essentially, that's running within Windows. So that gives me the ability to do all of the Linux stuff that I'm used to, including installing Neovim and configuring Tmux and a bunch of other stuff. So if we look at my dotfiles directory, yeah, okay, so plugins is what I was working on. So here's my dotfiles, which is in, oh no, there's an actual timer sound on that timer website. That's obnoxious. Okay, I found it. But yeah, so the dotfiles repository, if you guys are not familiar, generally speaking, dotfiles is something where you store all of your configurations. So many of these files are prefixed with a dot, so .getconfig, .vimrc, .zshrc. Having the dot prefixed makes some of the files invisible to the file system. If you guys are familiar, dot at the beginning of the file name typically will hide it from things like Windows Explorer or even from a standard LS. So often you'll see people have a dotfiles repository like here and all of the files without the dot, and this is kind of where you work on your dot files and then symlink them. So if I ls my main directory, you'll see things like my zshrc here are linked into my dot files. I didn't even link them properly. So the linking of this, the symlinking, is one part of dot files. Often there's a install command or something. I think those are the only ones I'm doing now. So right now I'm moving between operating systems, Mac to Windows. Some of the stuff in my dot files doesn't work anymore for full bootstrapping. So they're pretty much a mess, but we're going to be working on specifically the Vim configurations today. So, oh, it's Neovim, not normal. I was like, I have a Vim folder in here, but that's not what we want. Yeah, so currently Neovim is not symlinked at all. So we'll start by doing that. So ln-s to symlink, and is it source? Or I always have to Google this. I believe it's the source first and the target second. Yeah, source file and then the link on the second. So I think I want to do it absolute so it comes out more like this. So we're gonna link code/dotfiles/in Vim, so this is a directory, and then the symbolic link that we want is going to be just .in Vim in our user directory. So now if we list everything here, we should see our Neovim folder. I am really confused that wasn't linked before, though, because I definitely had some of these settings. Okay, so here we're in Vim. You can see I have like relative line numbers on the side. I can just remove a symbolic link with RM, right? So this is getting picked up without that symbolic link. That's confusing. What am I currently... What's the command to see source Neovim? Is there some way I can see what configs it's pulling from? I'm confused that I didn't have this link in there before. Is it picking up stuff in Vim? What do I have in there? No, that's just undo. Otherwise, it has to be like in my path somehow. Curious. Well, for whatever reason, Neovim seems to be picking up. Yeah, that's odd. So just to illustrate, so we're going to edit so we'll start by looking at the basic stuff here. So you can see I'm bringing in 3 configs. So I started this by kind of copying some other people's Lua-based configs. If you put the configs into folders like you see here, then you can use things like this init.lua. This is going to require Nate Emerson. And so that will pull in everything in the Lua/Nate Emerson directory. And the interesting thing here is, am I requiring these in the init? Okay, so I think by default, it'll only bring in a init. So the way we're going to test this first off, because again, I'm curious that it's picking up any of this, is we'll look at the options here. And we're gonna work off of this RNU true. So RNU is a setting for relative line numbers. You'll see on the left side here, that's where I'm getting the line numbers change as I navigate through the file. And then we also want that relative. So let's try just pulling that out, and you can see we've lost our relative line numbers. So that's what I wanted. Now, as I was saying, my hypothesis is that we need this init.lua file to require these, but I'm going to try removing those. So let's just see. Yeah, see, we lost all of our... I can't even get out. So, to recap, our basic init... So we'll count our init.lua. So our basic init.lua has this require Nate Emerson. That's going to include Lua/Nate Emerson/init only. And if that, oh goodness, I deleted it and saved it. Oh no. I'll just git checkout -- Nope, not what I wanted to do. Yeah, so now if we look, it's the require Nate Emerson, and our initial init will come in and pull this init.lua. This is where I then require .map, .plugins, .options. So this is just a technique for organizing your different settings. You could have everything just in that base init.lua, but this helps me break out a couple different files. The dude who writes big English words. What's up, Emmy? Hey, YK, coming in with a raid. Good to see you, YK. Hope your stream went well. It was fun to follow along for a bit. .configs. Thank you. Okay, so it's... Yeah. What am I doing? So if we look up here at config, and then So that one's not a link, but here's our link. Thank you. So this is something, by the way, that I'll touch on briefly, but hey, Dark Historic, how you doing? So Snake, assuming that 4 is supposed to be an A, Snake in Twitch chat was saying that it's in the .config directory. Now this is part of something called the XDG directory specification. So I like mentioning this just because this is pretty useful, and you may hear about this from others. Directory specification. So XDG base directory specification is basically a that's not the page, that's ArchWiki page, is a little easier. So this essentially just says you have some environment variables that should be set, and this is the one of particular note. The config home is a folder where you can put all of your configs for different programs, for different system settings, for Git, for utilities, wherever you need. You should be putting configuration files in there. Now, if you notice, that's definitely not true of my base directory, right? We still have .vim, .tools, .tmux, so there's a bunch of stuff that isn't in that .config. And the reason for that, in some of these, in some cases, the reason might be that I'm bad and I haven't used the XDG version. So many things, if they follow the XDG specification, they'll look in .config, but then they might also look in the normal files. So Tmux, for instance, might first look in .config for /tmux, and then it'll look in just the base root directory, or not root directory, but the user home directory for .tmux. So some of these it'll work kind of either way, but for some applications, they don't support the XDG specification. So that's the other thing to keep in mind, is that you have, yeah, here they have supported. So this page is helpful for looking at specific things, and they usually will list. So if we look for Neovim in here, they'll list this is under partial support, I believe. Hard-coded, oh. Where's Neovim? Yeah, so you see Neovim here, it's gonna look in /Neovim. Does this say it's unsupported? No, yeah, it's supported. So if you have your printenv, what is this? Is it XDG config home? See, so that is being set in my configuration, which means that anything that's under this supported area, these programs should know to look in .config. So assuming that you have that set, they're going to know to look there. Other than that, again, like I said, the issue is if there's tools that don't support the XDG specification. So that's where you'll see in this big ol' Arch Linux page, they have partial support, and this is usually, you can add a flag or you can use something with the program specifically to get it to look at the right directory, right? So what was the one I set up recently? I used one of these. I can't remember which one it was, but long story short, you'll see, you know, either they have their own environment variables that application will respect, so you can export your XDG variables into other things. You're basically just copying it to other variables that these programs know to look for. NPM, I think this was it. So yeah, so you can add stuff to like those config files to specify where do you look for cache, where do you look in the path for the actual configuration files. And like right here, see, they just have the init module, so you're literally just specifying so that it looks directly at the directory that you want. So XDG is nice for setting up .files because it does bring some sanity to what mine currently looks like, this mess. So the idea of XDG config is you shouldn't have this. This machine I've not set up very well, so many of these things I haven't configured to use XDG, but in theory, if everything was under .config, this directory would be, you know, only this stuff. It would be much smaller. And home directories do tend to kind of explode like this. It was a fun little side tangent on XDG, but getting into what I'd like to do today, so you'll notice a couple things about my Neovim setup. So initially, I don't have a file editor. I don't have much. So today I wanted to focus on plugins and then some of the key bindings that I'm going to need to use these plugins. So right now I'm using Packer. Packer, Vim plug, I don't really know. I wanted to use Packer because I saw some other people using it. It's one of the newer ones, but I've also hit some walls with the LSP. So I'm gonna not try to do full Neovim LSP configuration on stream because it's a little more difficult and involved, and I already hit some walls. So instead, I'm going to be looking for a couple good plugins for us to throw in, and I have a few dot files to reference. But the main things that I'm looking for are one, quick launcher for files or a quick editor. So I'm going to install Harpoon. It's a lot more than that actually, but Harpoon is going to be helpful for kind of quick switching between files. You'll see I'm just going back to the command line and kind of opening files. I'm not splitting a lot. Some of that is because I don't have plugins configured yet. Some of that is just because I either forgot the hotkey or I haven't done custom bindings that I had in the past. And then I want to get, an actual file browser, so an extension where we can see a sidebar or we can do something with viewing our tree, our directory structure, within the editor. And then some auto-completion stuff. So there's surrounding things and then selection for code blocks and paragraphs. There's some cool utilities in there that I think I might need. But yeah, just looking for a couple plugins. So I have to mute for 1 minute, but if anybody has dot files or their favorite Vim plugins, I would love for you to just drop some things in chat, because I'm going to be adding in a few things, hopefully, trying out a couple different things. All right, off cam for 1 minute. All right, sorry about that. My wife just got home and needed some help carrying in the groceries. Ooh, Adam Elmore's dotfiles. That is a good call. Yeah, Snake, I kind of had the same problem. My dotfiles were in a really bad state for a while because I had like a couple hacks I did on different systems, but I never actually like consolidated and committed them back. And right now my dotfiles are like half 2014 and half recent. So I definitely have some work to do. All right, so what is, let's start with the file browser. What is the latest, what is the most recent, like, I'm trying to remember, back in the day, Nerd Tree? All right, let's check it out. Is there an awesome Neovim? All right, NVim File Tree Explorer. File Explorer. Telescope, that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, let's start with Telescope. Okay. So Telescope's a fuzzy finder. This will be more effective than a file browser, to be honest. This is why it's funny. If you've used a good fuzzy finder before, so if you're not familiar with a fuzzy finder, if you use VS Code, you might have used one. If you Control P or Control Shift P, I believe, in VS Code, it'll bring up that little window where you start typing in and it'll find files or it'll find commands depending on how you invoked it. But it's searching on the fuzzy matching of your string, right? You're typing in some string and it's matching not just that string, but stuff that might be close, or the string appears elsewhere. So if you type in a file name, even if it's deep in a directory, it should be able to find that file. And fuzzy finding in general isn't much except literally that. It's like strings that you're searching and you're matching in some fuzzy way against some input string. So within the context of Vim, it's a lot more about what are you actually using this fuzzy finder for. So the example that you're seeing on the screen in this GIF is you're using it for searching your code base, for searching the current directory of files. But there's other applications you can use. There's other sources that you can do. So you see they mentioned pickers, sorters, and previewers. So you can have fuzzy finding with this preview on the right-hand side. For example, that's a previewer, obviously. But there's different things you can do with this, and there's different things that Telescope can enable you to do with fuzzy finding, depending on your other plugins or actions or scripts. So I'm going to be just setting up a very basic version. Okay, so it requires plenary. They're recommending to use a tag, which does bring another point into question of me updating my Neovim for new stuff. All right, so all the Lua functions I didn't want to write twice. I was gonna say I've seen plenary around, but I think if I just use their recommendation here with the requires, that should work. So it's NVim Telescope. Man, I am really failing on window management. That's why my next thing's going to be Tmux and i3 to actually get window management under control. Well, not i3 here, but we're going to use NVim Telescope. So you'll notice there's a couple things that are janky about my editing. I don't know why it wasn't highlighting quite. No, I think that was working. you know, it's not doing close brackets for me. It's not doing some of the indenting properly the first time. So that's some of the like editor developer features that you might be really used to, that when you first start using Vim, it feels crummy to be missing those things, right? And what I'm hoping to show is how including a couple quick plugins can bring back a lot of that. So, all right, we've got this set up. If we do packer install as a command here, this should go and install what we need. Oh my gosh. This is what I was fighting with yesterday, but the fact that it just installed that means maybe that would work now. Yeah, because I tried doing this. Where is the, oh, this is a long page. TS server. Anyways. But this didn't install telescope or plenary, which makes me nervous. Am I just screwing up something about how I'm using Packer here? All right, so if we get telescope installed, then we should be able to use... There we go. Okay, so if I'm editing the file, I need to quit out of Vim before I Packer install, apparently. I'm probably doing something wrong there. Anyways, so now we've installed with Vim Telescope. Can I just telescope find files? Let's try restarting Neovim again. All right, so now we have our find files. What you'll notice there is that I just typed in this command right here as a, you know, I just typed this in the Vim command line. So the way that I did that was I hit escape to make sure that I'm in, you know, not edit mode. And then I type :telescope. So you can see at the bottom here, this is the Vim command. And then there's things like live grep, and this is not grepping what I thought it would. I thought that would be grepping the file. Anyways, buffers is a great one. So if I do, if I go to open another file in here and now I do telescope buffers, you'll see that I get, ooh, that's, oh, interesting. That'll screw me up. But yeah, that gives you a telescope window with the open buffers. So if you have a bunch of files open, you're switching between files and buffers, you can use that command to search stuff that you have open, not searching the whole project. So this is what happens with Vim a lot, and this is why I like adding things manually myself and not using like starter kits or plugin packs, is that when you add a plugin, there's frequently multiple commands you can use. There's probably one that's the really obvious one that most people go for. So for example, find files, right? If you're searching your code base, you'll probably look at a config where somebody has this bound and they're talking about using whatever they're binding it to. Personally, I just like knowing the commands available and also being able to think a little bit about my key binding. But this is where we're going to bring up a couple different things, and I want to see what other people use for the key bindings here. So just from looking at this, I know that I want the find files and the buffers. I have to figure out how the live grep works. So you can search for a string in your current working directory and get results live as you type. Okay, so that's grepping the directory, not, yeah, that makes more sense. So what's my current directory is .files/nvim. just gonna go back. If I look at my dot files, telescope dot live. What was the command? Live grep. Yeah, live underscore grep. So now if I type ZSH, this doesn't seem to be working. I don't know what's happening with my live grep. So anyways, we're gonna focus on the find files and buffers. Help tags, is that just like the man pages? Yeah. And then the other thing here is I'm using my arrow keys because if I type J, it puts it into the actual input. So, ooh, this is helpful for the telescope stuff though. I should be using help tags. This is something that I'll add because I should be using this more. But what I want to figure out is how I can use, so not J and K to go up and down here. All right, so tab. Wait, tab is adding a plus. All right, I need to learn about the commands for navigating within the telescope file. So what I was gonna say is I wanna make this so that Control K and Control J will go up and down, because that's something that a keybind I use for a lot of like auto completion stuff and things is if I know I'm gonna get a list, you're typing so you can't use J and K the way you would in Vim, you know, when you're just moving up and down. But you can still use Control J and Control K when you're in those insert modes to still navigate up and down with your J and K keys familiarly without actually using, you know, just J or K as a bind. But that's not currently bound, so we'll see if we can figure that out. Now, oh, this is all the Vim L stuff, so I should really be using this for my own. So let's open a couple of these things. So we've got the plugins, we've got the options. So that was actually map is what I want. So map is my file where I'm putting all of my keybinds, essentially. It might be a confusing file name, but it's for mappings, it's for keybinds, and the idea there being I should change it to keybinds or something. That feels a little confusing. But this is just to centralize, okay, these are all of the keys that I'm remapping. So similarly, as long as this is loaded before, I didn't do that properly. Map options plugins. So I guess I should probably put plugins at the top. In theory, if I'm doing keybinds that depend on a plugin, I would want the plugins file to run first. I don't know if that actually matters, but we'll do that. And then we look at our map file. So if we want, they do leader FF for find. This is where I'm curious what others are doing. Adam Elmore. So let me link to this. Yay, I guessed the URL. I don't see Neovim configs in here. I see a ZSH and Tmux configs, which I may steal some from. I'm still curious. Here we go. He's got the proper XDG directory set up. So this is a good, I'm probably gonna rip off his stuff. So I assume he's just stowing the whole thing. Yeah, see, this is where I need to get to, is I want to have my actual full brew file. This is one thing I never did on Mac. Set up Mac defaults. Got it. So he's got a defaults thing, and then he's got a bootstrap.fish somewhere. Or he's bringing in fish, I guess. Anyways, let's take a look at what he's doing for his Neovim. So first off, his basic structures, he has this init at the top level, and he's doing his name, so similar to mine, and he's got the Lua / Adam Elmore, base init, so let's look at his init, base theme maps plugins. He does plugins last, so does he have plugin specific key maps in here? Yeah, there's his telescope stuff. Okay, so it looks like he uses the same leader FF, leader FT keybinds. This does give me hope, though, which this makes sense. Of course, you can include this first because that makes sense. So I was scared of the plugins not being there. But as I was thinking through this, if you look at the mapping, these are just strings, right? So in your maps here, if I want to copy the leader FF, and what options is he actually using here? Silent equals true. I think that's what I have. I have no remap true, silent true, and then I have loud ops, which is silent false, because I wanted that for I forget what this bind does. This was one I just found recently. The V that I have there. Anyways, so leader FF for find files. Excuse me. That's a leader FF. I want to make it just like Control P, because that's what I always used before. I mean, back in the day, the Vim fuzzy finder was literally called Control P. But then when you have like FB, FT, you know, find buffers, find... Ooh, he's got projects. That's interesting. I'll have to look into what project support looks like. It makes sense because those will become more natural for different telescope things that you're doing. So let's just... space FF to find. See, that's what I gotta figure out, is how to navigate this without the arrow keys. All right. So this is a normal remap. I don't think I need all of these to be no remaps, so that's fine. So he's got one for find files, one for find files with hidden equals true, which is interesting that they're... Yeah, so find files, FT is find in text, because that's like the grep. And then find projects, find buffers. So I definitely want find buffers. I'll make this one a live grep. I guess we'll try that out, but again, it didn't seem to be working based on how I was doing it before. So find files, find text, find buffers. Those are the three commands that I'm focusing on initially. anything else. Oh my gosh, she has leader Q to quit. That's wild. Wild. All right, resize with arrows, navigate buffers, clear highlights, close buffers, better paste. This is where, ooh, wait. Is this what my paste here is? He just overwrites P, that's ballsy. No, quotes underscore DP. What's that do? Quotes underscore DP. I'm in visual mode. So I yanked map, so I'm pasting it. I don't know what that remap does. So these I definitely want. I already have them in there. Control W. Copy line, I like that one. New empty line. Oh, that's using O and O with the escape bound in. So if I want a new line above, I'll do capital O and then escape out. He has a remap, so if you do leader O, it'll do uppercase or lowercase O and then escape out for you really quickly. So I'll just instantly bump a new line above or below where you're at. You can see that being kind of nice. For now, I think I'm just gonna go with these 3 for telescope. And then if I'm doing it correctly, now I should have leader FF and I can find plugins. Leader FB. Unknown command. FT gives me the live grep, which seems to not do anything. So that's working. FF gives me the files. FB is unknown command. Find buffers. That's not it. It's just buffers, huh? Is it just buffers? This is where I should be reading the docs more. Yeah, it's just called buffers. Oh, and then help tags is the other one. So find help. I'll do that one. Help tags. Okay, so now FF, oh yeah, options, FB should give me the buffers. So I can switch to options. See, I like that, but I still think leader with 2 keys is a little too, it's a little extra, you know, it's a little much for my preference. I like that control P. What's control P doing by default? Just goes up a line for me. What is the, shoot, there's a command to type into Vim to get it to tell you what's currently bound to something, but I forget what that is. Anyways, I'm going to make my FB. See, I just have to think about that key map. It's not muscle memory. Oh no. We go up to the map. I'm gonna make find files just be control P. Because that's what I'm used to hitting. What is code? I haven't even really configured or used code much, but I think code is, yeah, control P. I like control P. So control P to get to different files in my current directory. I still need to figure out the navigation up and down. Let's do that next. So customization. Oh, cool. You can do customization per picker. So the overall ones that I want, control next, control previous is for next previous. How do I do that? So control P, right now I'm in typing mode. If I escape, oh. So control N, control P is the default for navigating through. Okay, this is interesting. So I didn't know that there's like command mode and insert mode when telescope is open, which makes sense. We're in Vim. But that means I have to think about... I still think I like control K and control J compared to control N and control P, no matter what they're doing. Oh, and then high, middle, low. See, I just don't see myself going into command mode once telescope is open a lot of the time. Control C to close telescope. That's good to know. I was using escape. Oh, and that's why I had to double click escape, because I would hit escape once to get in normal mode, and then escape once in normal mode to exit out. So control C will close it. Yeah, let's just remap. Please read help. Oh wait, I can use my new telescope thing for this. So help tags, find help. And we're looking for telescope.defaults.mappings. Look at this. We're using the docs in Vim, how it should be. Mappings to override. I just want them to show me an example where they're overriding it. Okay, so first I need to go to where I'm actually configuring telescope. Let's see if Adam has an example of this. Hello, Dad, what's that? I like that. Leak code. Happy to have you. How you doing today? I'm just hacking around. You saw me go to senior and turn the startup. Thank you very much. Yeah, it was fun. Prime streams are amazing. Where do I have this? Yeah, so I'm just hacking around on some Vim stuff, messing around with the telescope, trying to configure right now a different... And I keep losing my browser windows. Trying to change some of the mappings here. So my problem is I haven't done a lot of Lua Neovim configs like this. So here's where I want to look at how other people are doing it. Like, do you have a special... telescope.setup. Ah, in Vim after plugin. Okay, so this is something that I've been curious about. When to use the after folder for Neovim configurations. So this is where he's able to load a couple things. Okay, let's see if he changes. Yes! Adam mapped the same thing that I wanted to map. Thank you, Adam. Now I can just rip off your thing entirely. Perfect. Nobody clip that and send it to him. So that's exactly what I want to do. So the question now is... Oh no, what did I do? All right. So I already have my after directory. What's in here right now? Okay, I have tree sitter stuff in there. I think that was generated. I don't think I created that, but yeah, I don't think I wrote that on my own. Excellent though. So we're going to touch, what, just telescope.lua. Then we are going to copy away. So this is where, I don't know tons about Lua or Neovim, so I'm kind of at a loss. But we're basically FZF and UI select. Interesting. So let's try these things out bit by bit. So initially, local status, telescope. So the actions is how we actually feed it what actions to trigger based on these mappings. So we'll get that out, and then telescope.setup. I'm not going to mess the prompts right now. So let's start with just the mappings. Seemed like my indentation right now should be working because I thought I had LSP, but for insert mode, Control J, actions dot move selection next. Cycle history. So history is an interesting one. I'm gonna have to learn a bit about that because I'm not good at managing just like my own jump lists right now. But the history specifically within Telescope is interesting to me. So it's not select, it's selection. Trailing commas are fine in Lua. Alright, so there's our telescope.setup call. Let's exit out and see what happens. So Control P gives us our stuff that's here. Control K and J work. Excellent. So now let's add in these up and down. Cycle history prev, but move selection previous. Why? Inconsistent naming. So let's exit out and try this. So now when we go to search for something, Control K and J do that, but up and down go through what you've typed in. Okay, I like that. So it's the input history for Telescope itself. Okay, UI select for Telescope. Let's look at what that's like. Curious to see what this looks like. So this will set your actual Vim select UI to use telescope. So for things in Vim that are going to give you a select, they'll use the telescope plugin for that. That's really cool. I don't even know what that stuff is right now that I would use yet. And I still have a couple other customization things for telescope that I want to do. But we have our basic configuration for a telescope file now. So I've got some mappings. I don't know if there's anything else in here. The path display smart. Ooh, this is a good one. And then file ignore patterns. Yeah, I'll steal these defaults as well. So the path display equals smart. I don't know if I can think of an example. What are the odds somebody just has a GIF to show this? No, that's smart history. Smart path display will change how it's showing the path depending on where you are and just shorten it, I believe is the gist of it. So path display smart, file ignore patterns. %.svg. What's that about? I don't know what %.svg would be. Anyways. Hey, what's up, Jax? %so per. Thank you. Okay. So SO %. What? Yeah. So here, if I do this, I can go up and down with J and K. Control C to get out of telescope. I remember that. Control P, Control C, Control P, Control C. All right, working on muscle memory, just getting some reps in. Let's go. So if I delete these two and then write it and then SO %, which I can bind to something, that should resource this. So now if I try to find, yeah, Control J and K are not going to work. I hit escape, it put me in normal mode, then I hit Control C and it was trying to force quit Vim. I see what happened there. So let's put those back in because I like those. :SO %. So that means source and the % is the current file, I believe. So that's going to source what you're currently doing, which is much better for refreshing this. Roy, what's up? Sorry, I wasn't looking at chat for a minute there. Telescope is fun, but I use VS Code friendly hackable ID. I use VS Code because I don't hate myself. That's fair. That's fair. Fair point, Roy. Yeah, and Dad, what's that? Loves hating himself. He's a masochist. That's why he uses Arch Linux. That's perfectly spot on. That's exactly what I would say. That definitely checks out. Certainly sounds like an Arch user. I haven't done Arch myself. I'm pretty noob when it comes to like actual Linux distros. I've just done pretty standard user-friendly stuff. A bunch of CentOS back in the day. A bunch of Ubuntu more recently, you know. It's just easy stuff. I've messed around with Kali and Elementary at one point. Like some of the trendy, you know, designy ones, but I haven't done Arch. I haven't done Gen 2. I haven't done any like OG distros really. I type up my Twitch username. Where was that? Was that on... Oh my gosh. Was that on Twitter or in the Discord that I did that? That doesn't surprise me at all though. Sounds like exactly something I would do. If it was in the Twitter, that's more embarrassing. No, yeah, twitch.codes, okay. But the YouTube link is what it linked to. Weird. Anyways. Are you just memeing because it's not Nick? Or because I don't actually code, I just do VS or Neovim config. We're not gonna add anything. I've got my bind set up. Is there anything else I need out of telescope? No, but the next thing I'm going to do is What's a good map for reload? Leader R. All right, so if I percent SO percent, now I should be able to, let's remove this. Leader R. Okay, now it's not working. So if I add that, goodness, now I forgot what it looked like. It's just okay, so now is where I want to do leader R should refresh, and now I should be able to get out. Nope. Dude, I just broke something so bad. What happened? I just need to go back to what I had here. IJKESC. Have to be all caps like that? Oh, ops. That did fix it. Yeah, so now leader R refreshes, so did I already have this in my, oh my gosh. I just retyped a full bind. I already had that set up. Maybe that's why I was getting a little buggy there. All right, so what else do we want to do with telescope? I think that's pretty good. Let's use the file explorers. I don't know if I want a file explorer though. Yeah, here's the tree. Does anybody know? Yeah, it's not Nick. There was another tree I had in here somewhere. I think I'm just gonna do Neovim tree. It's an easy one. Let's see what Atom's plugins look like. He's got Neovim tree, Packer plenary, auto pair, auto pairs. Okay, I need tree sitter for that. So tree sitter, CMP, auto pairs. Ooh, he's got dev icons for the tree too. So let's start with these. We're gonna do Neovim tree. Oh, it is Dalua. All right. Kayaz Danny 42 slash inventory.lua requires nightly tag. Okay, I'm in. Just because the docs tell me to. Updated every week. That is impressive. Although wouldn't that technically be weekly tag, not nightly? All right, setup should be run in a Lua file or Lua here doc using a Vim file. Examples for your init.lua. I don't know if this is specific to Vim tree, but I'm down to include it. Unfinished string. Okay, I screwed something up. Gosh, I missed. Yep, that'll do it. Thank goodness. This is where I think I might want to do the way Adam had base.lua. Like, what's in here? Oh, that's like base options. Okay. Let's see if he has. No. He's got a couple auto commands in here. Remove status line and tab line when in alpha. Interesting. File type. There's a couple in here that I need, but then what is base theme maps plugins? Gosh, he's got a lot of LSP stuff. Yeah, that's why I was procrastinating on LSP today, because I think I need to dig in a lot more on that. And completion, both of those I probably need to spend some good time on, but so if I want to do things the very beginning of my init, do I want to put it in like the base init.lua? Is there a before folder that you can use? That might be what people do. No, after plugin. Yeah, one line init. Here we have our base, our maps. I don't know what Illuminate is. That looks interesting though. So I guess I'll just put it in my options. I am gonna rename options to base though, because I like that. Yeah, I know. Wait. Oh my goodness. can't change the file because I moved it. All right, now I should be able to. So this is where we're doing our options as a map, so we can just loop through it. I think I stole this from Primogen. Oh, and King 1440 was the other one that I... Hey, what's... Oh my, that... What? Did I get raided? Hello, friends. Melky, what's up? Thank you for the raid. Good to see you, man. I'm just hacking on some Vim configs here, so might not be the most riveting stream for anybody, but what were you guys up to? Melky, what were you doing on your stream? Just talking. I like just talking sometimes. That's why I like streaming a lot, to be quite honest. It's fun to just hang out and chat sometimes. So yeah, I've been slowly updating a lot of Neovim stuff and trying to get back into full Neovim use. Main issue being a lack of plugins. So that's what we're working on today. So supposedly, this is a good idea. Is to set loaded equals 1, vim.g.loaded net rw plugin equals 1 to disable net rw. Not exactly sure why that is. Now at this point, I like how I misspelled packer install and that still worked. So what I'm curious about is, does this work without requiring the setup? I'm assuming it does need it. In Vim tree toggle. Not an editor command. Yep, so I probably need that setup. Require in Vim tree dot setup. And we can do our R, and now, hey, there's our tree. Cool. So now I just want to remap that to something a little more reasonable. So in VS Code, I do Control Shift E, I guess. That's a kind of janky, I hate that I'm getting that from VS Code, but I didn't really use the File Explorer much in Vim before, so I didn't really have another. I mean, I did set up nerd tree at one point, so I think I did have it bound to something, but I wasn't sure. So now we have this file browser on the left, but I just want to add in a mapping for that so I don't have to open it. So if we want that to be in Vim tree toggle. So toggle opens or closes. Collapse will collapse it and recursively, so that gets rid of everything. Find file, move the cursor in the tree for the current buffer opening folders if needed. Interesting. So I'm assuming if I had some directories and I was like, if I was in multiple directories deep, but I opened up the tree, it might not show all of that, and that'll kind of orient the cursor in the tree to your current file. That makes sense. All right, so let's start with just the toggle. So this should be in normal mode. We'll do Control Shift E. Is that how you do Control Shift? I don't know if I've done a multiple modifier like this recently, but yeah, so we'll change this to in Vim tree toggle, refresh, Control Shift E. That did not seem to work. Oh, capital E, duh. Reload. Getting used to that remap still. Oh, I didn't, yep. Yep, that would do it. I don't have... Well, yeah, so we'll see. I didn't do the CR at the end, so you'll see right now I want to close it again. Control-Shift-E, but then I have to do Enter. Because... that CR there. So now... Control-Shift-E, Control-Shift-E. Oh, the toggle back... It leaves a frame up? That's an interesting... It seems like it leaves a split. What is happening? Alright, there's definitely some recursion going on. Invim tree toggle takes an optional path argument. Yeah, the CR I was definitely missing there. But now, let's just open this up again to see if I... Control-Shift-E, Control-Shift-E. Okay, so... I think I know what's happening. The toggle... Yeah, so the toggle, once it opens... It has to do with focus. Because what I want is Control-Shift-E opens like the side panel, and then yeah, interesting. So the toggle will open it, but then once it's open, the toggle command is for toggling actual portions of the tree, I guess. The collapse will close everything. That is a little bit confusing. Something's wrong for sure. Okay. That would make more sense. Yeah, because that just doesn't quite make sense how it's doing it. If I manually type them in, it works. So like if I do, I mean, I can even start with Control-Shift-E, but then I manually type in invim tree toggle CR, it works the way I would expect. So is it because it's not in normal mode once I open the tree? Is this considered not normal mode binding, or is there an invim tree specific binding? Oh, CMD. Will that help? Yeah, because it's the fact that this is... It's like CMD... What am I editing? I'm not even editing the right thing. Why can't I get back and... It's like a CMD instead of the... Yeah, because it's typing that in, so I assume like the colon or something else is getting caught. Nmap, thank you. That's the command I was trying to remember earlier. So supposedly that's the only thing for Control-E. But let's try it with the CMD bit there. Nope, it still gets weird. So like if I'm on the main buffer and I use the bind, it'll always work. See, if I hop back to the main buffer, so it's the binds that are inside invim tree for some reason. tree focus, open the tree if it's closed, and then focus on the tree. It could be remaps. Because I'm doing this with no remap. No, it has no remap true in there. Do I need no remap false? I also have silent equals true. Yeah, no. See, I've got up here, this is my standard ops. I'm using no remap. I'm using it on both of them, actually. It's just loud for non-silent. Invim tree find file. Yeah, I kind of like that, so... So right now we're doing invim tree toggle. Invim tree focus will open if it's closed and focus on it. I could do different binds for opening and closing, I guess, because that focus is probably what I want. But it's weird that, so invim tree toggle, it does put the focus over there though. So invim tree focus, I don't see how that's different. That's what's confusing for me. Is it's like invim tree toggle is already opening the tree and focusing on it. I assume once it's open, if I do, like this is the utilities, if I go back to my buffer and then run invim tree focus, it's going to put it over there, but it's not going to close it. So I probably want that if I'm using my file, if I'm using the tree, then I'll probably want to be able to hop back and forth. What's bugging me now is that tree toggle does put the focus in there. Ah! That's the worst part, because that's what I would actually want to do is Control-Shift-E, opens it, but I'm still in my code file. Why am I over in this? Open or close the tree takes an optional path argument. Opens the tree, closes the tree. How can I open the tree without putting the focus on it though? Invim tree open still puts the focus in the tree. That bothers me. So, correct. Invim tree focus is going to open the tree and put it in focus. I want to not put it in focus, which I would assume since they have one called focus, the toggle wouldn't automatically switch the focus there. So that's what I'm getting tripped up on actually, is that I want invim tree toggle to open it up without moving the focus there. Like it makes sense that invim tree focus does this, but now I'm looking for non-focus for opening and closing the tree. And it bothers me that all of these, even invim tree open, still puts the cursor in the tree. Invim tree find file. Still puts the focus on the left. So that'll center on your current file, right? It changes the cursor in the tree for the current buff name. Invoke with a bang to update the root. That's interesting. Find file toggle. Oh, resize, I need that. Not 50, what am I doing? All right, there, I made it a little smaller. It's just interesting that the default, oh gosh. And now I'm in the recursive one. So now that I did that command inside the tree, it closed the tree but left the buffer. So that's what happened to me earlier. So really the only issue is that I end up focused in the wrong area, which is something I'm going to need to fix just for how I use this. So let's just search focus on, this is telescope still. Too many tabs. All right, so an Neovim tree. Toggle has a second parameter which allows to toggle without focusing the explorer. Require Neovim tree toggle false true. So is this going to be in my plugins? Where do I do this? Neovim.tree. See, this is where I don't know the Lua configs enough. Like, assuming if I just put this in it, no. Watch this. Seriously. Well, it's just funny because this has been my hardest thing with Lua and Neovim so far, is seeing snippets, but like because of how I'm writing my config, or because of whoever's, config I copied, I look at mine and I'm like, wait, where do I put this? How do I put this? What does it do? So let's spell require correctly first. And then let's see what happens there. It defaults to open. Interesting. But now if I do... Oh, because I was running that. Okay. Yeah, that's actually just toggling it. Find help. This is their examples. Takes an optional path argument. Open the tree if it is closed and then focus on the tree. Change the cursor. You must run setup function to initialize. Oh wait, I'm super dumb. Aren't I already doing this? Yeah. No, because this is calling the toggle. This is not very clear at all. Like if the toggle function in Neovim takes a parameter, I can do Neovim. Can I just pass it like this? Nope. Expected string gone now. That was definitely not what I'm supposed to do. You can just do Lua require. Got it. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. So I can put that in my maps. Yeah, that's so messed up. So what I'll want is Lua require I think that's what I essentially want. So require invim tree dot toggle false true. What's the first one though? That's the funny thing. This is like their tips and tricks. It has a second parameter. What's the first parameter do? They never told me what the first parameter is. I don't know. Don't forget CR. Thank you. Control E. Hey, there it is. Okay. That's exactly what I was looking for. So now, yeah, it opens it. If I want to get over to it, can't. Oh, hey, guess what? The weird thing is I think this has worked for me recently, but these are all wrong. This should be Control WH, not Control W, Control H. All right. Right? Now something weird is going on with the tree. So the tree works to open and close, but I can't Control H to get into it. But Control WH works. Did I overwrite this? All right, what was the command somebody just gave me not too long ago for the checking current keybinds? Find this. This was, you guys just put it. Nmap. Yeah. So nmap. Yeah, it's right here. So does it have to do with the buffer type? Hang on. First of all, that's always opening because I still have my this thing. Okay, so I want to get that out of there. So it's not opening when I on it load. So when I open it, the focus stays where I want, but now I can't get to the tree with my Control H bind from right here. So right here I'm rebinding. Is it because I need a remap now or something? Because it's recursive? Because what should happen? Yeah, you came up with a one-liner. That was pretty rad. Oh, the first argument to the toggle method is find file according to the LSP, which means if I want to center it on the current file, I want to set that to true, which I do. I like that behavior actually. So true, I don't know what that was. So true here should be exactly the behavior that I want. The interesting thing is these binds are not working because I want to Control H to get to my file picker right now. But if I do Control WH, it does go, which is literally what I'm remapping it to. Unless I'm doing something really dumb in this remap line that I'm missing. Control H should be Control WH. Now Control L gets me back. So that's interesting. I can get out of the file tree buffer, but I can't get into the file tree buffer. Do I need a I shouldn't have done File Explorer. This is why I hate it, because I just want to fuzzy find 90% of the time anyways, but so it appears to be something with getting into the NVim tree buffer that my remaps are not working. Specifically my remap, I can get in if I Control WH, and I can get out with Control L. Let's just make it, take away the no remap. Whatever, I'll just call it remap ops. This is weird. So I'll just try this on H. If I open this, Control H still doesn't work. Control WH does work. Control L works. Someone explain that to me. I really don't get.
Is there anything else I can get you, madame?
Try Neovim. The result of nmap was just literally that one ch nmap ch cwh. Wait, but that's a capital W. They're both capital though. Does it not matter in that context? What about just nmap? How to get all of my mappings. All right, so Control H is Control WH, Control K. See, this is where it confuses me that they're capitals, but yeah, Vim just formats it in here. So Control H is the thing I'm trying to do. There must be something about the buffer that's protecting me from switching into it. That is just so weird. So like, I thought this would be a simple configuration, but now it's getting very complex because suddenly it's like, do I add Lua code to script this out so if it's already open it focuses, or if it's not open it no, that's too messy. Test it with a normal pane. Yeah, so if I want to like split base v split. All right. Control H specifically doesn't work. Good call. This is a terminal setting, I bet you. Gosh, I have not spent enough time with WesTerm. I have no idea. Where did I even put the files? I wonder if it's literally a terminal. Oh, goodness. WesTerm.lua. Did I put that in here? Thought I did some configuration. WesTerm We also use Control Shift R. It's not in there. Yeah, if it's the terminal, I would be... Thank you! Whose tip was that? Vim configs can't get very big. Yeah, FYI CLI. Fantastic name, by the way, my goodness. Testing it with a normal pane, that was a good call, because I hadn't actually done just 2 code panes to test that. But now I have no idea where I put WesTerm. I did do some configuration with WesTerm, because I definitely changed some stuff. Do something in here.
Come on.
All right, well, let's just look at keybinds. No, wait, I'm an idiot because WesTerm's definitely in my Windows operating system, not in my... Yeah, so where would I put it in Windows? Did I use winget? Oh, this is a shortcut, duh. It is in the directory. Where is it, though? Can't I open file location? No? All right, well, we can put one there. I hate everything. Can I just look at their default key assignments? That's exactly what I want. Control H isn't coming up. Oh, wait. That's annoying. Super H is hide application. Doesn't look like they have anything by default. I might have... No, that was Tmux config. I'm not even inside of Tmux right now. Use Control H and Control L for switching your buffers. So is that for like swapping, like if you have 2 buffers open? I don't quite understand. Is Kitty on Windows? Oh, yeah, that's like Putty. I'm totally disoriented. All right. So I got this. I can open my thing. I can't get over to it, but for that purpose, I should just Control Shift E. I should probably just have it. No. Way off now. I think I'll have it just focus the tree for now. So with that true on the first parameter though, it should open the tree and center it. So here I'm opening it because I didn't refresh. Now when I open it, it's gonna put me over here and I can get out at least. I can't get back in now. If I control shift E at this point, it collapses. With that behavior, it's kind of what I want, but again, that's just because I busted my own binding from somewhere else. So we'll figure that out. I could test this really quick by opening Alacrity and seeing what happens. There's gonna be some other issues here. It's weird that Alacrity doesn't have the font, but WesTerm does. That might be some of the issues that I was running into, but in theory, at this point, if we do Neovim, and then we do vertical split, yeah, Control H works here. So it's definitely a WesTerm thing. I just can't understand like where I put my WesTerm configuration because of the fact that they literally, like I looked everywhere they talked about. There it is. It's in my user directory. Oh goodness. All right, we'll just open this VS Code. Control H is leader? That's a bad idea. Oof. I do Control Shift here. I don't even think I wrote this file, to be honest, though. This just looks like the generated one. No, there's my wallpaper. I did put something in here. Okay. Or is that going to be Control or Shift? Now we'll find out. Why is this coming up? Console output during ZSH installation. Oh, weird. Yeah, so now it works. Okay. So I made that Control Shift in WesTerm. Hey, that's pretty cool. I've got most of what I want with that then. VS Code, not like this. Yeah, that's the funny thing is I've still definitely, I mean, a lot of my streams have been in VS Code because I haven't like quite gotten all my Neovim stuff set up on Windows. So there's been a lot of that. But again, I've used it a lot at work where it's like I can toggle back and forth. I used, like I've put my Vim config in the VS Code editor, so it works for the most part similar to Neovim for me. So I'm fine using VS Code. It's functional. It's just not nearly as nice. I have not looked at follows, by the way. So first off, again, Melky, thank you for the huge raid. And I'm assuming everybody in here after that is from that raid. So welcome. Happy to have you here. Long Humans, Creative Null, Jinu, or Jinu, Jinuw, however that's pronounced. Thank you for the follow. Airsticks, thank you for the follow. And FYI CLI. Love that name. That is such a good name. All right, so now I've got my file edit or my all right, so now Control E closes it, Control E puts me over there. So I want to change this back to true. And that's going to mean that I'll close it and then I'll open it, but I'll stay in my file, which is what I actually wanted. So I can open the sidebar just to be oriented to where I'm at. And then if I want to get over there, I can Control H over. Very nice. Now, if I do this thing where it got, so this is where I got using this mapping. Where's my mouse? Using this map while I'm in the tree, like recursively goes up another directory, or it expands wherever my cursor's on in here, I guess. So Control Shift E is expanding here. That's the part that threw me off, is the toggle command will open the pane, but it also will toggle things when you're in the pane. It seems to be the select, which is why I can't open and close it quickly without getting out. So I guess that's intentional, but I need to remap that open and close over here. Does space work for that? Enter does. See, yeah, I'm fine with just using enter for that. But now the question is, since we've changed that first parameter to true, when I close this, it's not currently centered on the current file. So when I close this tree, which I have to get out of the tree by doing it, now when I open it up again, it should reorient me around the current file. It selected it. So it selected it, but it doesn't change your actual... That makes sense. So if I collapse these so I can't see the current file, and then I collapse that and reopen it, yeah, it puts the cursor on it. So I kind of like that being true as well. Although again, I don't know how I'm like, or no, I do know how I was going up in directories. I just kept hitting enter on this basically. In my Explorer, I use H and I to expand and collapse the folder. Oh, H and L. Oh. H and L are the standard way to collapse. Control H and Control L? That doesn't sound familiar at all for me. I have to open VS Code just to try that. Oh, using HJKL on the File Explorer. I see, so let's see if that works. I guess I have to go up a bit. Yeah, what's this do? This is totally pointless. I like that binding, so how can I set that up? See, this is where Creative Null did recommend just using a different plugin. Neovim. We're gonna try that next. This is the great thing about plugins, is that you can test a couple different ones. So first, I'm going to do what I have not been doing, like at all. And I'm going to actually commit to Git. I should get rid of that remap opt. I didn't use this anywhere, right? Yeah. Options is gone. Alright, so gadd init.lua map.lua plugins.lua. All right, now that I have a commit there, let's go ahead and undo everything that we just did. So we're gonna replace this with a minimal quick start for NeoTree. That's the minimal one, okay. So it actually looks kind of similar. Vim NeoTree. Ranch. Requires plenary, the same dev icons, and then NUI. Nvim Lua / plenary dot nvim. Yeah, and then it's Munif Tanjin. If Tanjin / NUI dot nvim. Don't need a tag and then run neotree. What did I get rid of? I actually didn't check. Yeah, nvim tree. Yep, perfect. That's what I was hoping. So now we can do neotree. Nope, we got something busted. Module nvim tree is not found. This is in my shoot. I broke it again. This is the after. No, where is this? Base.lua. I'm done. My brain's just frying at this point. Being horrendously unproductive here. So no, it's in the base.lua. I don't know why I thought it was an after. Alright, so now it's neotree, ambiguous use of user-defined command. What's that mean? Tmux and welcome study with Matrix, by the way. It's been going interesting. I've gotten stuck on a few things that I didn't expect to get stuck on, but right now I am adding just the file browser. So I tried one plugin, nvim-tree, and had some issues. So now I'm trying neotree, which somebody recommended, and also having some issues. But that's pretty typical with doing stuff like this. I had a capital on the neotree, and that's why it wasn't working. So this seems to be nice. So now I need to just change my remaps here. So Control E, neotree, but this is where we want to do cool, the key equals value. I haven't seen options like this before, so let's see. Action, focus, show, close. Yeah, so I want like toggle. The output of get status in a tree layout. That's so sick. I'm totally gonna make a separate one for that. Okay, this plugin, I like this plugin already. Thank you very much, Creative Null. Yeah, I ran packer install. So Cool. So reveal source. So I want reveal true. Force current working directory is interesting. So that's the flag I was looking for on the other one, basically. But it'll automatically change the directory without prompting. Buffers is interesting, but I don't know why I really want a tree format for that. The get status is the cool one. I like that. Oh, is this in like a popover? Oh, float. That is very cool. Okay. So our initial one is going to be neotree toggle. So by default, toggle puts me in there. So if I want to turn that off, focus equals false. No, neotree show would keep the focus on the current window. Oh, and that broke it bad. What is happening? So if I do neotree show, that's where it's just going to open it up. Wait, also, what in the world? I brought all this garbage back in. That's the issue. But then I can't really do it in one key. This is where it feels way more complicated than it should be, because I just want a toggle that doesn't move the focus to that side. Where was the yeah, see, I just want an option to the toggle command. This is a Boolean flag, and this will means that the window will be closed if it is already open. So show toggle equals true. I think I did it. I think I did it, guys. Control. Shoot. CR. Can't miss that. Okay. Reload. Control E. Opens. I'm still in my source. Closes. I'm still in my source. We did it, team. Oh, man. That was way harder than it needed to be. So now I can just open and still keep stuff, but I can tab over here if I want to look around. Always close it. So the new one I wanted to try that would be really cool is, let's do nmap CG. Okay, I don't have anything for Control G. Control Shift E. Yeah, I'll make it Shift G. So I want to do Control Shift G is going to do neotree source equals get. Is that what they had? File system buffers get underscore status. So yeah, this is basically a different get base. Interesting. So neotree. Float get status. This is cool. So now, yeah. I definitely broke something there. That's really cool though. So right there with one, yeah, I'm gonna do harpoon next. Yeah, with one map here, I'm able to get a file tree showing all of the things that have changed in my current get status, and Q gets me out of that. Control Shift E. Control Shift E again. Control Shift G, or Q. I like that Q gets me out of there. Similarly, get status. So yeah, if I look at my get status here, so now if I did touch new file, why did Neovim dot just break so bad there? So now Control Shift G, I can see my new file that's in here. Wait. And I can delete stuff from there. This is interactive. Wait, what's the command to stage it? There's got to be a command to stage it. That's why I see a checkbox. This is actually so cool. I love this neotree just for the get status version. That's like amazing. It's like a whole nother plugin. Yeah, I don't know what, like enter, I think opened it. What's open right now? If I do map, like control enter, like there's got to be something that checks that box on the right. Well, let's just see if I actually do get commands. So if I add base, first off, does it update immediately? Yeah, it gets the little checkbox over here. That is so cool. Need get from terminal as usual to commit. Okay, that makes sense. Well, it let me delete a file though. When I did D on one of these, it gave me a yes or no. So when I had that new file that I made, I was able to delete it right out of the get status. So if you had like some trash stuff in here that you didn't add, you can just hit D, which is really cool. That's a really cool little hack. I like that. It just shows I use Fugitive for using get from Vim. So I was gonna ask about Fugitive. Is that still the thing? Because Fugitive is what I used for Vim back in Vim 6.0 or whatever. This was like when I first learned Vim, this was the thing. So good to see Tim Pope is still going at it hard. He's a freaking legend. I mean, at this point, like all the Vim plugins should work in Neovim, right? Like his are all, oh wait, no, they're Vim script. Can I use this in Neovim? Is it actually written in Vim script though? Because I thought that Neovim didn't support that. Oh, it still works in Neovim. Okay, cool. Yeah. This was like Tim Pope is who I got started on Vim with. I just went through all of his stuff. I used like all of these plugins at some point. Dadbod, modern database interface for Vim. Wait, this is actually amazing. That's pretty cool. So you can do database stuff then Vim. Yeah, that's really cool though. I like Neotree. Thank you for that tip. I think I'm gonna use Neotree and I'll play with that some more later. Let's go to what's up next. Harpoon. So this is Primogens. This is not fully baked. I changed my mind because Harpoon is going to require me to really think through some keybinds. I'm already struggling with the keybinds I have. So I'm going to hold on that a bit because I have to think through some other things. But let's see, what are the other obvious Neovim plugins I'm missing? Lualine. I think I want that. Yeah, Harpoon might be unnecessary for some of the stuff I'm working on right now. I liked how it was scriptable for the, what was it? You can do commands and stuff with it too, which is kind of cool. What is this opt equals true? Is that required in a requires? I'm not familiar with that. That looks weird. This might be me not knowing. Surround, repeat, endwise, and abolish. Love it. Yeah, those are... Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, I remember repeat. I used that quite a bit back in the day. So... Let's see, I've got the Lua line in here. And let's source this. Packer install. Alright, Lua line. Does it not come with anything out of the box though? Yeah, this is where I want to have. So I guess I'll need to do setup somewhere. Oh no, wait, that's wherever I'm doing the configuration, obviously. So let's just pull their entire configuration as a starting point. And do we want to do this in base? That seems messy. What did Adam do? I want to find his Lua line configuration. Yep, plugin / Lua line in the after directory. This is what I was going to say. Ooh, he's got... Yeah, let's not start with the basic. Let's start with Adam's Lua line config, because this looks fun. Oh no. I don't want to confess this on stream. This is the one thing that I haven't gotten with Westterm, is being able to paste from my operating system. Which is why you see me so frequently typing in so much code. Yeah, the endwise behavior is something that I want for sure, and surround. This is where you guys aren't going to see anything. Where's dotfiles? Do they not have dotfiles in here?
Don't hesitate to call. Goodbye.
Open up VS Code specifically to copy and paste. Amazing. Wait, that's not... Alright, cool, we're done with you, VS Code, get out of here. Hey, we got a pretty Lua line. Gorgeous. Absolutely love it. What's the 26%? Is that memory? No. Percentage of the file. Line number, row number. Oh, this is beautiful. Base.lua. Lua is the text side or file type. What branch we're on. Beautiful. Cool. Okay. Thank you. Abolish. Yeah, I want to pull that in. An Invim on Linux Mac, I can copy into the plus register for system copy paste. Yeah, it's definitely doable. I mean, I even have it with like... I think I had it working with Alacrity, so it's a Westterm config thing. Like somewhere in there, I need to go and... Wait, no. No, because what you're talking about is modifying... Yeah, it's not... System copy-paste is never easy, so that's why I haven't really dug into it. Like on Mac, I remember having to do, you know, a bunch of stuff to get it to do the register like you're talking about. If you don't paste with Westterm, you could just use Invim clipboard instead with %+p. That's the one that I need. See, and don't I have... One of these is supposed to be a better paste. No, that's the better yank. I forget why that is. But anyways, so you're saying the percent plus P. Okay, yeah, let's test this. So copy the word modified, and then, sorry, quotes plus P. Copy. Double quotes plus lowercase p. Nope, not working. It's pasting the stuff that I copied in Vim. I think it has to do from this yank copies to the system. Oh, so leader Y. See, that's not working either, though. I think it's because it's WSL. I think this is where it has to go through Wes term somehow because it's WSL. So the system clipboard when I'm in my operating system is Windows system clipboard. When I'm in here, it's Ubuntu system clipboard, presumably. I'm assuming that's the issue. Or in the star register. Yeah, that's the other. Where's the asterisk register? Oh, I had something in. That's the one from the yank. So I am yanking into the system clipboard. The problem is it's still not the Windows system clipboard. It's the Ubuntu system clipboard. So right now, if I'll get map leader, right? So map leader, leader Y. Now that's on the clipboard here because I also have it set up with my config to paste from the system clipboard, I think. But if I go over to Windows and I paste, it's not map leader, it's modified still because this is in Windows, not in Ubuntu. Yeah, it's a Windows is the problem. In reality, what I want to do is get a bunch of Elgato software to work in Linux and then stream from Linux, so I could actually just be on Ubuntu when I'm streaming, but I'm assuming it would be harder for me to get all of the PC only programs I depend on for like peripherals and streaming stuff and Stream Deck. It would probably be more complicated. I mean, I could emulate Wine and run a bunch of stuff that way, I guess. That sounds like a pain for peripherals though. By the way, I use Arch Card. Dude, I could get so into Arch. OBS sucks on Wayland, yeah. Right, so like OBS works in theory. That's not even the blocking issue though. It's like I have the Elgato mic and Stream Deck, so they have utilities that I would need to emulate or I would need to run in Wine. Yeah, it's just a pain. I think not worth. In theory, right, theoretically. I feel like I haven't accomplished too much today, but I've had fun talking with chat. I think I'm going to take off for a bit because it's been some time and I'm starving. Yeah, the Elgato stuff's the biggest pain. But yeah, so to recap, we got a tree, we got fuzzy finder, and I really just, this get status is like one of my favorites. The fact that NeoTree gives me this, and even the fact that you can do this kind of floating display, that's really cool. But then I have that window over there as well. I want to change the sizing, but I think it's mostly just because I have awkwardly large font for streaming. A VMware with Linux distro, but runs streaming from the Windows system. I mean, yeah, yes, no, actually, that would be a million times easier than going the other way around. And that's arguably, I mean, that's essentially what I'm doing with WSL, right? Like WSL installs Ubuntu into a VM that kind of works with Windows a little better. So yeah, fundamentally that is kind of what I'm doing, but get that Arch card. Hey, you guys keep showing up to my streams and harassing me, and one of these days you'll see switching to Arch stream. I'm just gonna have to stream that from like an iPhone or something so that I can just put it behind me while I'm miserably rebooting my computer a dozen times to get the graphics card driver to work. I'm debating right now if I want to just end stream or if I want to play a video game before I end stream. Sometimes I like decompressing the coding brain with playing a game when I finish streaming. Also, I haven't looked at YouTube chat once, but nobody's watching, so that's fine. That's great. It's a feature, not a bug. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you, FI, CLI, and Creative Null especially. You guys gave me some awesome tips. Anybody else who was in? There was a couple of first-time viewers, and I thanked all the followers, but yeah. This was super fun. I like doing config stuff on stream, even though I probably should have a little more of a plan so it's not so scatterbrained. Oh, Fuko! Dude, what's up? Or friend, thank you. Good to see you again. Yeah, okay, I know exactly who you are now, so I love your name on Twitch, though. That's fantastic. Been stalking you a while, yeah. No, very, very good to have you, man. Happy to see you stop by. And, yeah, looking forward to more of it. Again, I'm hoping to get a more consistent stream schedule. It's just been a very, very, very busy month with work for me. But I'm looking to get a little more, like a couple nights a week, all evening PST, so West Coast America time. I'll probably have a couple late in the evening, and then the weekends I want to have like every Saturday morning, every Sunday afternoon probably for me is when I'll be trying to get in at least a couple hours of streaming more consistently, so. Grueling with the tree sitter grammar. Yeah, exactly. I gotta get tree sitter all set up and configured for that GRU coding. All right. I'm just gonna get off because I'm tired, but I'm going to not just get off, but I will raid somebody, at least from the Twitch end. I mean, wouldn't matter to raid from YouTube anyways because I got nobody. But let's see who is streaming over on the software side of the world. See a couple in here. What do we got people doing? Cool project, cool project, cool project.
We can get rid of that.
You know what? Yeah, we're going to raid CM Griffin G. Is it C? I feel like I don't know how to pronounce his name. I always want to say CMG Griffin. But yeah, he is an awesome streamer. He's doing a mobile app to help people decide where or what to eat. So React Native, Lambda. I'm going to throw him the raid, but thank you guys so much for hanging out. Go give CMG your love, and I will see you guys later. And then I think I'll just stop streaming on YouTube. To my 0 YouTube viewers, goodbye.